What's up, guys? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting. Welcome back to another video, man. Sorry about the different backdrop. I was already in here filming something else, and I had to get this video out, man. So today we're talking about Matrix Arms, one of my very favorite gun companies, by the way, and I'm not just saying that. This is the MX-19. They sent this to me, I don't know, a year ago or something, but literally it's been my favorite gun, not only to shoot, but also to carry. It's kind of been my go-to gun across the board. So it's built on a Glock 19 platform. You can go back and watch the video, but it's been a really, really awesome gun across the board. They just came out with this thing's big brother. Here it is in this case. As you can see right here, it says confidential until June 6th. Now, a little preface here. I got this gun like 2 days ago and they said, hey man, we need a video by June 6th. Today was my first day shooting it. I literally just came straight from the range from shooting it for the very first time. The thing shoots smooth, man. I normally like to test things for a couple weeks, but this is literally 2 hours at the range today with this gun. Let's open this thing up. Boom. So here it is. This is the Matrix Arms MXI. Now, the MXI is built primarily for competition. So if you're familiar with the Glock platforms, this is built on a Glock 34 platform as opposed to our Glock 19 platform. You can see the size difference right there just in barrel alone. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Matrix Arms, they're a smaller company, but that also means that they spend a ton of time on each gun. Like, these guns are their babies. Their blood, sweat, and tears going into these things, and it shows, man. Like, even on this guy, this is the old MX-19. Now, this thing is built out of a billet aluminum frame, so the frame itself is very, very light, whereas this guy is all steel, man. This thing is coming in super heavy because it's not meant to be carried, right? It's meant as a competition gun. It's meant to shoot as fast, as flat, as accurate as humanly possible. So they really took all the steps to make that happen. First up, they've got a Timney trigger in there, certainly one of the best. They've got hand stippled grips all throughout here, a little bit of a flared magwell down there on the bottom. They've added some new machine texturing on the front of their grip from their previous design there. On top of the heavier steel frame, they've also got a capsuleless steel guide rod, something like you'd see in the SIG P320 X5 Legion guns. They've got a really interesting longer front buffer in order to further reduce recoil. And then you pair all that up with the fact that like I said, these are handmade guns. These are hand fit, hand finished, hand polished inside and out. These are not mass produced guns. There's a ton of time taken into these things. And I think it shows. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful, like, look at this slide. My goodness, is that thing beautiful. All steel up here. It's a really, really cool, interesting look. They've got a ton of beautiful designs. They've got sort of like these serrations built into the metal itself so that you can kind of get a pretty good purchase on the slide anywhere your hand is. Obviously, it comes optic cut. I believe it's probably an RMR cut. That's what this guy was right here. So throw an optic on there. Obviously, you'll want to be, charging from up there or back here or whatever it is. So they give you a ton of different options there. So just looking at and feeling this gun really does give a custom high-end feel, and it shoots pretty dang awesome as well. Before we get into that, I do want to show you what it comes with. So it comes with this nice, really big case, which I love. On the inside here, we have a green grip so I can make it match my old MX-19. As I mentioned, I just got this gun, so I haven't had a chance to swap those or anything. Oh, one thing I do want to mention about swapping. On the MX-19, it was really difficult to swap out the trigger. If you wanted to put in a different trigger, they had to Loctite the triggers super heavy and whatever. It was kind of a whole thing to be able to change the trigger. They've changed that, so you can change out the triggers quite a bit easier now. But anyways, it comes with a little pack of CLP. It comes with a couple little tools, some Loctite, the extra grip, the lock, and then one mag. That's one thing I'm a little let down by, I'm not gonna lie. There's only one mag in here. I don't have another Glock 34, so I had to go to the range today with one mag, which was a giant pain to keep loading. But yeah, that is what it is. Anyways, that's just like a super quick rundown of the black and white tech specs of this thing. But let me tell you a little bit about my time at the range with it. Okay, so at the range, the very first thing you notice when you pick this gun up is how heavy it is. Now, we talked about that. This is a competition gun. It's meant to shoot flat. It's meant to shoot fast. fast. It's meant to not have any felt recoil. So they made it really, really heavy. And I mean, I'm just not used to that kind of a gun, I guess. So that definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you do, it's great. You know, like it's got such a long slide. It's got all those internal upgrades. It's all hand fit. All that stuff just adds to the shootability of this gun. Like, it's an incredibly fast shooting, very, very reliable. I put, I don't know, a couple hundred rounds through it in those couple hours that I was there. Zero malfunctions whatsoever. It ran very, very smooth. Now, some interesting things about the way this gun shoots. Number one, it's built on a Glock platform, but it actually has a 1911 grip angle. So it's a little bit different feeling than your standard Glock or something like that. And the grip is kind of a bit wider than I think you would generally expect. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. The other thing is this beaver tail sits as such that it's a little bit higher than the trigger, which is kind of interesting. It helps to get that downward pressure on the gun so that you're kind of reducing muzzle flip. Like, if you can get your hand as high as possible, get it in line with the bore here. It's just another way that this gun is designed to fight recoil. Now, I didn't want to throw an optic on it today. A, it was really short notice, as I keep saying, but also B, I wanted to shoot it out of the box. I wanted to see how it performs out of the box. We're reviewing the gun and not the optic itself. So the sights were great. Everything was very, very true. It was very accurate. Like, we were shooting all sorts of stuff. Now, one thing I will say is, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know I have very, very sweaty hands. This gun is not great for sweaty hands. That is one of the things I will caution you about. As I mentioned, it is all hand stippled, which feels great. Like, there's a lot of texture on it, but like, my hands just don't like all this metal. Like, this is super, super slick. So if there's any wetness on your hands at all, like mine, I have a very, very hard time manipulating this slide in general. Like, I had to like put things down to load this thing again and rack the slide. I just couldn't get my hands to like actually grip on it. Same with the front of this. They've added this little machine texture, which is nice, but like, it just does nothing for wet hands. Like, I would much prefer raised stippling for my personal hands. And because the gun is all steel, like, it's kind of weird, but it did get really, really hot. I noticed myself having to like put it down to do things, because if I would put my hand up on the slide, it was a little too hot to hold. So whatever. I mean, I was shooting it a lot and it was pretty hot outside. So keep that in mind. But those are all kind of weird, subjective, like personal things. For the most part, is in terms of how this thing shot, lights out, man. It was dead accurate. It was fast. It was flat. Obviously, the trigger is fantastic. It's a Timney. Everything about it felt really, really good. And once you get used to sort of the weight of it, the little bit thicker grip, which honestly I'm used to because of the MX-19. Once you get used to kind of the different grip angle, the higher beaver tail setup, like, it's a really, really flat shooting, fast shooting, fun shooting gun. Now, I did have Joe shoot this, and as I mentioned, he's not really much of a big shooter, you know. He goes out maybe once a month to the local range or something like that. So getting his input on it was kind of important to me, because I wanted to know what it felt like in someone who's a true beginner. He really liked it a lot. He said it was heavy, but it was a very soft shooting, is the way that he put it. Like, what he was saying is, like, he'd shoot it and then all of a sudden he could find his sights immediately again, as opposed to a lot of his other guns. You know, you shoot as a beginner, you don't have the best grip, stance, blah, 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 whatever, and it takes you a minute to reacquire your sights. He said it was much faster to find his sights with this gun, and I think that's a big deal, especially as a competition gun. If you're a new shooter wanting to get into USPSA or something like that, having a gun like this is really going to give you a step up in that world, just because of everything. The longer sight radius, the longer barrel, the heavier gun, the reduced recoil in general, all that stuff is going to help you just be more confident at these competition shoots and have more fun overall. So by the end of that range day, I put on gloves, and I had a lot more fun shooting it with gloves on, just because of the sweatiness. But if your hands don't sweat, then, you know, don't worry about that. So now, a couple production things. If this is a gun that seems like it might be interesting to you, they come in two different colors. First up, they've got like a black chrome, which I'm pretty sure this is. They didn't really tell me. There wasn't a lot of time, as I keep saying. There's also a sky chrome, which I believe is still a pretty dark color, but a little bit lighter than this one. Don't quote me on that. Now, because of everything that goes into this with the materials and the hand fit and the blah, blah, blahs, this is an expensive gun. I'm not going to lie. MSRP on this is $2,400. So you're at $2,400. I mean, once you get it, I think you understand that. Like, it's not just a price grab. You can feel that the materials and the craftsmanship support that price. Now, for today's June 6th until June 9th, they're offering an early bird exclusive for everyone that watches these videos. I believe you can get the gun for $2,160. So what's that? $240 off MSRP. That only lasts for about 3 days. So if that's something you're interested, absolutely hop on it. Lead time for these guns as of right now with pre-orders is 4 weeks. and it's increasing quickly. So if you want to get in on one of these, absolutely do it, man. It's a really, really fun competition style gun. Very, very fun to take like beginner shooting with because they can handle it. Like it's one of those guns that you can put in the hands of pretty much anyone that kind of knows what they're doing, and all of a sudden it elevates them to that next level of sportsmanship. So I hope you liked the video. Hit that thumbs up button if you would. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Go check out Matrix Arms, man. Go show them some love. Tell them I sent you. Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to make this video, get it out on time for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.